It has been 2 long weeks since I was able to clean this house last. In fact, I think it's actually been longer. We had to move everything out of the kitchen so the guys could get in there and refit the kitchen for us. Fabulous. The kitchen is beautiful. That is back together. That video is up. But not having a kitchen for 2 weeks, well, 2 weeks over because we had to take the kitchen apart the day before they came and put it together again the day after they left. So it's been over 2 weeks for us. It has taken its toll. Now, Alyssa did help. She did a load of laundry in the bath for us, just like essential bits. And those are the bits I'm putting away now. But there is a mountain of laundry to get through. Huge, huge amounts of it. I'm not entirely sure who's in the garden. Those could be the builders that are actually still finishing the kitchen as I start this clean. It is. Those are the builders that are actually still working on the kitchen when I start this clean. So this clean took me 3 whole days. 3 days. So this is the last day the guys are in the kitchen and I'm making a bit of a head start on it, getting on top of the laundry that, like I said, Alyssa did. But don't panic. Don't panic. Like I said, 3 days. There is way more to get through and I honestly wish I could have got through it at that speed. Now, I know that there are going to be some comments coming in that we have been lazy, that there's no excuse for letting the house get this messy, this dirty, this out of control, that there was ways that we could do things. We could have gone to laundrettes, you could take the bins down the dump. There are a million and one ways that we could have stopped this house getting out of control. And to be fair, you're right. So why didn't we? What's the rub? Why did we just leave it to get like this? Well, couple of reasons. Firstly, have you seen the price of laundrettes recently? Oh, lordy lord, they are expensive. I think we were looking at about £5 a wash load. And then I think something ridiculous like, I can't even remember the price of the dryers, to be fair with you. But when you're saying £5 a wash load and you look at how many wash loads I ended up with, imagine how expensive that would be. I mean, seriously, when you see how many wash loads I end up with at the end of this all, you do the maths to wash and dry that all at the laundrette. Also add in the time that it's going to take to do that. I don't have the time for that. I have work to go to. I have oh my goodness, I have a lot to do. Can't even get it through in my brain what I have to do. There's a lot going on. So realistically, laundrettes were out of the question, really. Then there's the rubbish. Why didn't we do the rubbish? Well, again, this goes back to what I was saying in one of my other videos about the broken window theory. Now, if you didn't see my other video, quick explanation on the broken window theory is that a broken window on a derelict building quickly encourages other broken windows, antisocial behaviour, graffiti, and all sorts of things like that. Now, that is exactly what happens in 99% of people's houses, and it certainly happens in this one. If you leave something laying around, it quickly multiplies. It encourages everybody else to leave their stuff laying around. And then what happens is it has an effect on your mental health, a negative effect. And you start feeling drained and tired and overwhelmed and you can't cope with all that mess. So you put less stuff away, which then encourages more stuff to breed and sit around it, which again, it's a negative spiral. So that's another reason why it's got so out of hand like it has. And it wasn't just laundry that was having the effect on. It was everything. Like laundry was mounting up, like I said, there was rubbish mounting up. The plates and things would mount up because everything was so much harder to do. And the minute you left one thing, it just amplified. Now, I've been looking a lot at myself during these 2 weeks. And I've realised as the matriarch of this family, it's my duty, my job to set the example, to set the standard. And hopefully everybody would follow along suit. But another thing that I noticed during these 10 days and during this little self-development growth spurt thing is that while the broken window theory, yes, it holds ground, it holds water, it is a tried and tested theory, most places will follow that rule. It's not a theory to me, it's a rule. That the opposite is not as true. The bad stuff is easier to happen. The bad stuff, it just flows. If you've got one house that is run down and horrible and falling apart, the houses round it slowly start to follow suit. Same with people in a house. If one person is lazy and unclean and horrible, then everyone around them starts to follow suit. Broken window theory. The opposite, the non-broken window theory I'm calling it, not so much true. If you've got one house that is absolutely beautiful, well-maintained, glorious garden, looking absolutely stunning, I find it's a lot harder for the houses around it, and again, same with the people, to come up to that elevation and match it. It seems that the good stuff is harder to do than the bad. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. But if you look at it in your own lives, and you're 100% honest with you, staying at home, doing the easy, lazy stuff and eating the junk food or the bad food, whatever you want to call it, is a lot easier than going to the gym, eating healthy, planning and counting your calories, doing this, doing that. Isn't it easier, and isn't it the better choice that you win the lottery rather than work all the hours God sends to get all the money and earn the same amount as that lottery win? I think if we're all honest, in one form or another, no matter what way you look at it, be it housework, gardening, losing weight or earning money, in at least one of those categories, if you are 100% honest, you would say, yeah, of course I would take the easy way out. If someone was going to give me a lottery win, I wouldn't have to work for the money. Yeah, I'd take that. If someone could literally let me lose weight overnight without the hard work, I'd take that. And we are all the same. And this is why, like I say, the broken window theory, it holds ground. So that's how we got where we are. Basically, I wasn't going to make my life any harder than it needed to be. I wasn't going to make my family's life any harder than it needed to be. Could I have done it? Yes. But, as long as we stayed hygienic, I don't see the problem. No one was going to come and visit in those 2 weeks because there was not enough room for anyone to visit. I had my dad down to look after the builders, but that was it. No one else was coming over, and we just did our best to survive those 2 weeks. And that was it. That's all we were doing, surviving those 2 weeks. And if that meant mess and chaos, then that's what it was going to mean. We just did what we needed to do to get through, and as soon as the kitchen was back up and running, life could resume normality. Now, I am one of those people, I hate routines, but I thrive on routines. I know, I'm an enigma in every sense of the word. But not being able to fully clean the way I clean and not being able to do all the things I do on the daily basis kind of upskittled me a little bit. And it was kind of a little bit pointless in my head. If I can't do it all, well, there is no point, There's no point me taking the rubbish out every day if I can't get to the bins or I can't do the laundry and I can't hoover. Yeah, my bins are empty. Whoop, whoop. The house still looks like a cesspit. If it's going to look like a cesspit, I may as well just let it go completely to a cesspit, If I could have taken the bins out, great, fine. But like I say, everything else still falls apart. If I could have done the laundry, great, fine. But my bins are still overflowing. The floors still need hoovering. You catch my drift. It seemed very pointless to me to do one thing and not everything else. So I was just going to wait for 2 weeks to be done, and then I was going to do it all. Now, I can't remember. I filmed this voiceover a couple of times like I normally do, and I can't remember if I've told you. This clean took me 3 days, people. 3 whole days. And that doesn't include the laundry. The laundry took me, what did I start the laundry on? Saturday morning. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We are now Wednesday. So it took me 5 days to get through the laundry. And that was with Del and Craig's help. Now, like I said, Alyssa had already done a laundry load in the bath of just the essential things. So she helped as well. So technically that's 6 days of laundry to get on track with all of this. Now, I can't remember if I've mentioned it before. Like I said, I filmed this a couple of times, but we're going to mention it again just in case I haven't mentioned it this time of filming the voiceovers. I did look into going to a laundrette because honestly, I knew it was going to take me a month of Sundays to catch up on my laundry if I didn't go to the laundrette during this kitchen build. And, well, yeah, it ain't as cheap as it used to be. Let me tell you that for let me tell you. £5 a load. And that was for a small washing load. Now, when you see later in this video, like I say, it took me 5 days to get back on track. That tells you how much laundry there was. But when you see how many loads exactly I had to put through, they were about 7 kilo loads, because that's about the max my washing machine can take. It would have cost me a small fortune to get all our laundry washed, let alone dried. The drying was going to cost money too, because we couldn't use the dryer either. So it would have cost me a lot of money, but it also would have cost me a stupid amount of time. Could you imagine how long it would take me to load up all the laundry we've got, drag it down to the laundrette, get it all inside the laundrette, put it all through the washer, then all through the dryers, fold it all up, bag it back up, drag it back to the car, drive it all the way home, get it out here, iron it all because it's going to be shoved in bags and then it's going to need ironing, and then get it all put away. No, time and money were not going to be my friend in that exercise, so I wasn't going to play that game. The laundry was going to wait. And as I've said before, and I know I can hear it in the comments already, that's just an excuse. The laundry kind of compounded the mess, and it just made things worse. So this is the last time I will mention it. Yep, we made our own situation work. Yes, it was probably laziness in some part, if not in all part, but it is what it is. It was what it was. We did the best in the situation we had, and if you guys can do better, fabulous. I love that, and I genuinely wish I could have been taught how to do that, how to have the mental strength to do just a little bit and stay on top of everything as well as working. I would love to know the routines and the structures you guys put in place to have the ability to do that every single day. And when you get rest days, because I find I never get a rest day and it makes me resentful and it makes me angry. I would like to know how to balance it all. So if you're one of the people out there that are watching this thinking, I'd never let my house get that disgusting, then please do let me know how to not do it. Now, I get the little bit every day theory. I've heard that many times. A little bit every day, it never gets on top of you. I do a little bit every day. I didn't for these 2 weeks, obviously. But normally I do a little bit every day. But how, when your life is turned upside down, do you manage to do a little bit every day when it's really hard to do a little bit every day? Like, what was I supposed to do? Anyway, I promised you that is the last time I'm going to mention it. So let's move on with the cleaning and the sheer volume of it I've got to do. Our bathroom had basically become our washing department. Like, it was the wet part of the kitchen. Obviously, you've got your kitchen sink and you've got your washing machine. Well, that's what our bathroom was. And honestly, yes, it really does gross me out as much as it's probably grossing some of you people out, that I had to do washing up in my not my kitchen sink. That had disappeared. That had gone. I had to do washing up in my bathroom sink. I had to do laundry loads. Well, Alyssa had to do laundry loads in the bath. it wasn't the best of times. We honestly, trying to do washing up after dinner was awful, because how on earth, where's the draining board? There's no draining board. How am I supposed to wash up properly? So what would happen is one of us would sort of wash up as best as we could and the other would dry. But the tea towel would get soaking wet through. So each time you ended up doing the washing up, you'd get through about 2 or 3 tea towels to try and dry the drying up. It was just incredible. How, I don't know. What would have been the best idea would have been if we'd been given one of those welfare units, they're called here. And they're basically like a little porter cabin that's got a kitchen sink in it, that's got a toilet in it, and maybe even some come with little showers in them. Now, that would have been the best thing, because then we could have lived properly. We could have used that little welfare unit and, had a toilet at work. Well, we had a toilet anyway, but even that's broken. We're waiting for the guy to come and fix that. That's what the screwdriver's for. Still not fixed. We have to turn the stop tap on and off to fill the cistern so we can flush. And that's been like that since May. Yeah. Fun games, eh? Anyway, we could have done the washing up better, and we could have maybe even plumbed the washing machine out in that unit. So we could have lived life as normal with a kitchen just outside of the house. I mean, we made do. It was fine. And I get to clean. I genuinely didn't ask for help during this clean. I was given some help, which was fun, but I didn't ask for help because I didn't realise until after quite how much work went into cleaning this house and put it back together after the builders had been. I was so disappointed in myself when I went to bed Saturday night because I hadn't managed to get half done of what I wanted to get done. And then I look back on it and I think, girl, you're too hard on yourself. Do you realise how much you got done in one day? It was a miracle you managed to get done what you did. But I'm too hard on myself a lot of the time. I really wanted to bleach all these, well, not all the tiles. I did want to bleach the tiles, but the grouting, it's gone all yellow and weird. But I really don't like these tiles anyway. And again, this is, I think, maybe another bit of that broken window. Like, the bathroom used to look really lovely when we first did it. But I tiled this bathroom with a little bit of help from Dell. I grouted it. We started off really well. Look, that wall by the toilet there is perfect. And then I got bored and I get distracted because I can never complete one job at one time. There's always like 6 different things I have to do at once. And it was a case of just every time I had 5 minutes, just plop a tile on the wall and run away from it. So if you actually look close up at the grouting job I've done, it's terrible. And half of the gaps are tiny and half the gaps are massive, and some of the gaps aren't even filled at all. There's grouting all over the tiles. Now, they are coming to replace our bathroom soon, and I hope they can tile it and make it look lovely like they did my gorgeous kitchen. And then we can get this room looking beautiful, and that would actually be almost like, oh no, dining room, still got to do the dining room. But that'd be most of the downstairs sorted and looking absolutely amazing, and we'll be halfway to the beautiful home I want. Because I know when I started this, I wanted to be the change I wanted to see on the internet. I wanted to be an honest, real family. I didn't want to be one of these families where everything was beige and cream and clean all the time, and everything went into those acrylic restocking boxes because we all had mansions and could hide the original packet somewhere and everything could be in clear acrylic. And I never wanted to be that. Slowly but surely I'm becoming that because that's actually what I want. I want that dream. And I never thought it was possible to get it. I thought this was my reality. This run-down, ragged home that was literally thrown together as cheap as possible and, was always going to be messy, was always going to be filled with people doing things and me doing all the work. And I thought that was always going to be the way. It's slowly turning out that actually, no, that's not going to be the way. And if I've learned anything from these 2 weeks, it's that I need to set the standard. Now, I've been trying. I very much have been trying. But I've only been setting the standard for myself. And the standard I set for myself is that it's not good enough. I haven't tried hard enough. I'm not doing my best. Well, actually, no, I am doing really well. And I am doing my best. And I am giving it my all. And I'm doing better than I think. And maybe if I give myself credit and give my family the same credit, that we'll actually all do a better job and live a happier life. So there is a lot of change I need to work on, and we're going to get there. Now, this is another thing. We've not been able to cook and eat properly because we've been living out of an air fryer because we haven't had the oven. We've actually had to buy a new oven because once they fit my gorgeous kitchen, our old oven wouldn't fit. So it's given me an excuse to buy a brand new oven that I can keep clean. I love a clean oven. I just hate cleaning the wretched things. I've never liked cleaning an oven. The big range we had was a nightmare to clean. That brushed steel, hate it. It never comes up pretty. And the door never came off on that one. So you'd have to sort of crawl around the oven door to try and clean inside. This one, I believe the oven door comes off like my sister's. She had one where the oven door came off. And it makes it so much easier for cleaning inside. And I'm thinking if I can try and stay on top of it, that I can make sure the oven and the kitchen stay pristine clean at all times. Then I can try and stay on top of the living room because that's been decorated and keep that pristine and clean at all times. And slowly but surely, as each room gets decorated and organised, I can try and keep on top of the stuff in each room. And then I can build my rhythms and routines around it that way. Because once something's new, you take pride in it, a little bit more pride in it than you do with the old stuff. And I'm thinking if I can do that, then as it ages, it will stay looking new and pretty and we can stay on top of it. It's only a theory. I'm hoping this anti-broken window theory thing can actually take hold because I've seen it in action before. It's not as common as the broken window theory, but the reverse does happen. I have seen it. We used to live on a big housing estate in Lincolnshire, in Boston, and it was known to be quite a run-down estate. Now, since we've left, I know it seems fate, maybe it's just us, but since we've left, this housing estate got a few people in it that took some extra pride in their place, and the houses around them they did the same. And now the people on that estate, they're the same people that were there before. They were the same people that loved the estate. They were the same people that had pride in their homes. And they were the same people that wanted to do these things. But as a collective, it kind of didn't get there. Now, as a collective, they're really getting there. Everyone seems to just be going that little step further, that little bit extra. And now you still see the same faces, but they're smiling a bit happier. Maybe it is because we left the area. Maybe people just don't like me. I know people don't like me. I tend to say things before I think, and not out of malice. I don't mean to be nasty. But when you see people improving themselves and you say, wow, you're improving yourselves. The way I seem to say it is instead of, wow, well done you're improving yourself, what people hear is, wow, weren't you awful before? You were so bad, so disgusting. And that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying before is that you're improving, that, wow, you've come so far. But yeah, everyone seems to hear it like I'm getting on at them for being really bad before. It's not that they were bad before. It's just, the broken window theory, like breeds like. And the more you try, the more other people try. And there's a guy called Kerwin Ray. He passed away not long ago, but he does self-help stuff. And he said Like, the people you hang around with are the people that influences you. So, yeah, like breeds like. But there's someone else, and I can't remember who it is. If anyone knows, let me know. Someone said that they don't really agree with that because someone has to be setting the standard. Someone has to be the leader. Otherwise, who starts the whole chain of events? Someone has to leave their cup somewhere for others to leave the washing up to pile up round it. Someone has to leave the load of dirty laundry on the floor for more dirty laundry to be added to it. Someone has to break the window in the derelict building for other people to come along and take up that antisocial behaviour. So someone has to be leading the train. Who's that someone going to be? And you have to make the choice. And I am desperately trying to figure out how to make that choice and how to show up to be the leader. How to be the first person to make these changes, make these choices, and try and get everyone to follow suit. I don't know how to do it because I'm tired and I don't know how to get everyone to follow along because I know they will be happier. I will be happier. The house will run smoother. We'll have more time where we can go out and make memories as a family. But how do I make that happen? I've tried being the disciplinarian and I've tried punishing people for not following suit. I've tried being the person that does it all and never complain. Well, I don't say never complain because, yeah, I complain. But you know what I mean. I've tried being that person. And no matter which way it falls, it's like I can never maintain the change long enough for everyone else to follow suit. And I don't quite know how to do it. I don't know how to be the anti-broken window. But, you know, I'm nothing if not a trier. So I've nearly finished down here, and since we've done this deep clean, or I've done this deep clean, we have all been really good at sticking on top of stuff. But like I say, Alyssa is nearly off to work. She's off to work in just a minute. So I'm going to finish cleaning this window in the kitchen, and then we're going to head on upstairs again to have a quick look around her room before we clean her room. I am doing the kids' rooms during this deep clean because their lives have been turned on top of their heads as well. So I'm gonna sort their rooms out for them as well. And she has been good, so is Craig, staying on top of their cleans after it was done as well. So Alyssa's up and off to work, which means I can get in and take care of her room. All right. Let's get going. Now, it did take me a good few minutes to kind of balance myself in Alyssa's room, figure out where to start. One of the things that I find is a little bit of an issue. Oh, that was very posh. Issue. One of the things I do find a bit of an issue is that when it comes to decluttering my stuff and organising my things, I know where I can put them. I know where makes the most sense. And they're my things. I can throw them away if I need to. I can do what I like. When it comes to Del, Craig and Alyssa's, I can't do that. I have to tidy, clean and organise their stuff as best as I can to make use of the space and keep it clean and tidy and livable, basically. I can't just throw their things away. They're their things. Can you imagine how annoyed you'd be if I came into your home, no matter the state of it? It could be a palace, it could be a slum. But if I came into your home and just took things that I thought were rubbish and threw them out, you would have a fit. That's all the laundry from Alyssa's room, thankfully. And look how much space that sorts out. 2 weeks of Alyssa's laundry is a lot of stuff. Alyssa has a very active social life and likes to go out and about, and it does mean many changes of outfit during the day. Also, she has OCD, which we're working on. Well, I say we're working on, she's working on with her counsellor person. But certain activities, if they go badly or not as she planned, or they're slightly messier than she anticipated, anything like that, she needs to change her clothes between activities, which creates a lot of laundry. So yeah, 2 weeks of Alyssa's laundry is like a month's worth of anybody else's. So yeah, she's getting better at it though. We're actually managing to control it a little bit more, or she is. I keep saying we. It's the royal we. I'm not doing it. She's doing it, and therapist. But yeah, so there was a lot of laundry from her there. But like I was saying before, I would be very annoyed, and you would be too, if I came into your house and started throwing stuff away. So I can't do that. What I try and do when I get in here is I move everything off of a surface, put it somewhere else, clean that surface and put stuff back in a tidy, organised fashion. So a lot of the time in Alyssa's room, in Craig's room, or like downstairs, what you're seeing is what appears to be a lot of me just moving stuff around. Like, I'm not actually cleaning anything. I am, but obviously because I can't get rid of people's stuff and I can't just put it in different random places, like I have to clean it, but clean it in their way. So I do just move stuff about, clean the surfaces and then move it all back again. At least they know where their things are. I've not thrown them away. They're pretty much in the same location. They're just more organised. Like Alyssa likes to leave all her notebooks out on her floor. She'll write loads of stuff in her notebooks, and she's got a different notebook for pretty much everything. She's very much like me in that manner. She'll have a different notebook for every thought that pops into her head, because once you've written in a notebook, it ruins the notebook and you need a new one for the next thought. So she leaves all her notebooks out, which, you know, I do that too. And I come in, tidy her room, and I put them all away. Now, if I was to move them, she'd not know where they were, and she'd probably go and buy more notebooks because she couldn't find her old notebooks. She buys new notebooks anyway, same as me. But if I put them in the same area, then she can find them. And that's half the battle, really, with moving other people's stuff. If I move it to a completely different location to tidy it and put it away, A, they buy more things because their things have gone missing now. They assume I've thrown them away. I haven't, just tidied them up. But they don't know that. So they buy more, and then that means more clutter and more stuff. So I've worked a system now where I just put their stuff in the rough area where they have deposited it. So all Alyssa's hair and makeup, which is in the bottom right of your screen, all her hair stuff and makeup stuff, it all stays there. Do I rearrange it, tidy it, organise it, clean it and wipe it all? Yes. Does it look the same as when she left it? No. But it is all still there. I'm not going to suddenly pick it up and move it to her windowsill. The only time I do that is with things like her collectibles. So she went through a phase of collecting miniature things. Now, they're all by her door. Well, they can't stay there. It makes getting in and out of her room a nightmare. So I've bundled them all up. They're now on top of her wardrobe, out of the way, because she doesn't use them. And they've been sat there for months out of the way. So now they're proper up out of the way. All her paint by numbers that she went through a phase of doing, they're all now hidden under her bed. Because again, the same ones sat by her door for months. So things like that she doesn't use regularly, I can kind of move. I keep them in her room in a very obvious place for her to find, but I do put them out of the way. One of the biggest issues we've come up with in Alyssa's room is just the size of the room. This room it used to be one room. Her and Craig's room, it never had the dividing wall, it used to be one room. And it was nice and big, and you could probably get a lovely double bed in there, some wardrobes, and it was a nice size room. But now it's two very tiny box rooms, and having a double bed and a massive wardrobe and drawers for all Alyssa's things, it's not really practical. Now, she doesn't want a single bed, and having one of those lift-up beds is kind of a little bit pointless because, like, only stuff that she doesn't ever use would live under there, which is fine, but that can happen. But her stuff that she doesn't use very often can just live in the shed or live in the attic. That's not a problem. We need storage space for the stuff she uses every single day. Her clothes and things like that. That's where we come up with a problem. Now, what I was looking to do is getting her a sliding door wardrobe, because a sliding door wardrobe means we don't have to allow all the room for the doors of the wardrobe to open, because they would just slide along, which means it could go up the side of her bed and she would then have to open the wardrobe doors. I am thinking on, someone said about storage boxes under the bed. We did have them before, but again, sliding them in and out was basically too much hassle, and I can see why. There's not a lot of room for her to slide the boxes out. So most of the boxes would just be left out all the time. Well, if they're going to be left out all the time, I may as well get a chest of drawer unit. So this realistically is the best configuration for Alyssa's room. Now, we are looking at shelving. I'm thinking if we can get some shelving up and about the place, then that means most of her stuff can come up off the floor and it will give her some floor space, which, yeah, is a pretty valuable premium in this room, let me tell you. So that is what we're looking to do. But again, I've got to have money to do that, and I need to make some money to get there, which, who knows, it might happen, should happen soon. Fingers crossed, everybody, for the money. So yeah, for now, this is the best configuration for her room. Now, I know a lot of people are sensitive about eating in bedrooms, in the bed, that sort of thing, having food and drink upstairs. It's a big no-no. You shouldn't do it. Rah, rah, rah. Yes and no. So, I've never really been bothered by it. I can't see the problem. I did put a ban on having crockery upstairs, cutlery upstairs. You're allowed a cup upstairs because, I'm sorry, I want to drink at bedtime and I don't see why my kids should be any different. So you are allowed one cup upstairs. One. Any more than that, and I put a ban on you having a cup upstairs. If you need a drink in the night, you go downstairs, you get a drink in the night, you come back up to bed. So you're allowed one cup. That is it. Otherwise, I'm going to put a ban on you. So everyone goes by that rule. Yes, she does have a plate in her room. I have relaxed that rule for her. That's not a plate. Well, it is a plate, obviously, but it's not a plate for food. So she has hair straighteners. There is nowhere in her room where she can put hair straighteners down that won't burn. So she is allowed that plate upstairs just to put her hair straighteners on. That's it. So, and it works. And now I don't have a care in the world about people having food in their bedrooms. It doesn't bug me. If you want to share your sheet with crummies and have a nice exfoliating nap, then that's your lookout. How am I to care? As long as you're not like collecting pests and things like that, we haven't got a problem. The day the room starts collecting pests, nope, you're not eating upstairs anymore. Not happening. And so far, touch wood, no pests have been found upstairs, which is fabulous. So I'm going to continue letting them eat upstairs in their own spaces. Doesn't bother me. Now, if it bothers you, I'd love to know why. Because I can't see a reason as for why it would bother somebody. Like I say, obviously, if you're sharing a bed, then obviously there's other people's needs and wants to consider. But Alyssa, there's no one with her, so it's not a problem. And both me and Del eat upstairs anyway, and Craig does in his bed as well. So, you know, each one of us shares our own space with ourselves, so it's not really a problem. But I know a lot of people are so against it, and I can't figure out why. Like I say, if it encourages pests, I get that. But no, other than that, I can't see a problem. We did put a ban on shoes upstairs. Those are not allowed up there anymore because obviously you're walking outside germs upstairs and around about the place. To start with, I couldn't see a problem with that. We've got a dog. Well, we had multiple dogs at one point. We had multiple cats at one point, and it seemed ridiculous that they can come upstairs, but we can't with our shoes on. That's, I don't know, that's just madness. They're walking the same germs upstairs that we are. But in all honesty, at the end of the day, we have a different level of intelligence. I won't say a higher level of intelligence, a different level of intelligence to the dog. We know about the germs and we can take our shoes off. Therein lies the difference. Now, Woody, ever since baby Nova started to urinate everywhere, doesn't come upstairs anymore. We started keeping our bedroom door shut because obviously I didn't want baby Nova urinating on the bed during the day. So we kept our bedroom door shut. Woody's learnt now and he doesn't come upstairs during the day anymore. So we don't even have the dog upstairs in our room. Alyssa does have the cat in her room. She doesn't really go in Craig's room. Nova doesn't go in Craig's room much. She does occasionally. But because Craig is allergic to the cat doesn't really go in Craig's room. So cat only goes in Alyssa's room, really, which, it's her cat. She wants to share the germy floor with the cat. Fine. The cat walks throughout the whole house anyway. And actually, Nova isn't an outdoor cat. She's an indoor cat with a selective outdoor area that's sectioned off from everyone else. So realistically, how many germs is she bringing in? And this whole germophobic thing is kind of getting out of hand, I kind of think. I mean, I understand being clean, but everyone seems to be like this level of clean that I don't think's reasonable, really. And everyone has the expectation of everyone else to be that level of clean. It's just, I don't know, I don't get it. Like, in your homes, I understand people want to keep their homes clean and tidy, and you kind of want to stay one level above communicable diseases. I get that. I'm not crazy here. But in all honesty, when we're using, like, antibacterial this, that, and the other for absolutely everything, unless you're immunocompromised or, there's actually been an illness run through the family, like, do we really need that level of, like, antiviral, antibacterial, this, that, and the other everywhere? Like, back in the day, washing your hands was enough. Laundering your clothes was enough. Now, all of a sudden, there's all these additives that we add to wash loads to make them more hygienic. Well, I'm sorry, if washing my hands with a bit of soap and warm water is enough to take the germs off my hands, enough for me to eat and perform medical procedures if I was thusly qualified, then surely popping my clothes in the washing machine to wash with the same soap and same warm water, surely that would make that linen clean, right? Do we need all these additives? And every surface has to be wiped down with an antibacterial, antiviral, antifungicidal, this, that, and the other. Surely, a bit of damp dusting with some fairy liquid has exactly the same effect, because if the fairy liquid is enough that when I wash my hands with it or wash my plates with it, that becomes safe enough to eat off of, surely wiping the side with the same warm water and fairy liquid makes the side clean and safe to eat off of. I think we've gone way too far in the opposite direction. I agree. Filthy, dirty, manky, mucky, not great. But so super clean that we're getting super germs and super bugs, probably not so great either. Alyssa's big obsession is hand sanitizing. She has those little sprays that I've just tested to see which ones were empty and which ones weren't. And she becomes obsessive about hand sanitizing and things like that. Now, I understand it, hand sanitizer helps take away the extra germs and viruses, blah, blah, blah. But surely, again, washing your hands and things like that has the same level of clean, right? Why do we need, like in hospitals, we have the same thing. You wash your hands, dry your hands, get the Alka-Gel on them. Like, why? Washing and drying your hands surely is enough. I don't understand the extra layer. I don't get how everybody is so super clean, and how do people have the energy to stay this super clean all the time? I know there's people out there with OCD that revolves around cleaning. They have to do it a certain way, a certain time, every way. And they are particularly clean about certain things. And a lot of OCD people are clean because of a germ phobia. Not all OCD. I must just add that in there. Not all OCD is neat, clean freak. And actually, clean freak is kind of the wrong word for it. But it's the terminology a lot of people know and a lot of people use, because it's not freak. It's just a different way of thinking about being clean. But with OCD, it's just, I don't know. That kind of gives them the energy, really. This unrelenting desire and need to do it. It's not even really a desire. I mean, if you've ever had OCD, you'll know that this relenting need to perform your obsessive compulsive task, it's not a desire. In fact, the desire is the opposite. Like, I would rather not have to do certain behaviours because of OCD. It's not a desire. It's this overwhelming compulsive need to do it. I would desire not to do it. Everyone thinks, oh, you like cleaning. Oh, you must have OCD. No. No, because if you like it, it's probably not OCD. Like I said in some of my other videos, if you know anyone with OCD, I can almost guarantee you they all say, I don't enjoy my compulsions. I don't enjoy having to be this way. I don't like having to wake up in the middle of the night so I can get 8 hours of cleaning done before I then go to work absolutely exhausted and do a shift at work. Most OCD people, well, I say most, I might be playing it fast and loose with the word most there, but a fair few OCD people probably can't even work because the level of compulsion is that high that it exhausts them to the point where they can't physically function outside of the obsessive compulsive trait. And that's another reason. See, a lot of people say, oh, well, Alyssa's got OCD, then why is her bedroom such a mess? If Alyssa's scared of germs, then why is her bedroom such a mess? Because it's exhausting. It's exhausting to have to spend 8, 12, 16 hours, 24 hours every single day obsessing over, is that carrot safe to eat? Was that bottle of water I got from the shop open? Did someone tamper with it? Has this happened? Has that happened? That actually by the time you get to the safety of your surroundings, you're done. There is no mental capacity or physical capacity to do anything else. You are done. Now, yes, I do know that there are people out there that use mental health as excuses and, oh, I can't do that. It's my OCD. It's my autism. It's my ADHD, whatever particular other problem that you have. I know there are people out there that use it as an excuse to not do things. I also know it's very, very difficult to tell the difference between someone using it as an excuse and it being the reason someone can't do it. So yes, while a lot of you may think, well, it's just an excuse, you know, she's just being lazy, it's just an excuse. And you can think the same of me because I'm exactly the same as her. I leave my stuff laid about all over the darn shop, and I tell you for now, it ain't because of OCD. I'm going to be truthful with you. It's because I'm lazy. When I get back into my own environment, I've spent the whole day not pretending to be someone else, but we all go out there, don't we? And we all put a face on for the day. We all go to work and we play a role at work. We are the happy employee. We are the non-stressed out parent. We are not the single mum anymore or the single dad. We all go to work and we put on a role because that's what we have to do at work. And when I come home, I'm done. I don't want to play the happy-go-lucky class clown anymore. I just want to veg out and watch something on the TV or play games on my phone. I don't want to have to be the entertainment anymore, you know, at the end of the day. And it's the same, you know. So, yeah, I'm lazy. That's what it boils down to for me. I do have OCD. My OCD has nothing to do with being clean. I am bone idle when it comes to cleaning up my space. Truth be told. And like I say, it's hard to tell the difference. You never know the difference. And until someone tells you the difference, you kind of just have to accept facts for facts. You have to accept what they're telling you is the truth, whether you believe it or not. And you don't have to believe it. You can believe it's all a fib. And you can believe it's all true. That is entirely up to you as the person hearing the story. But one thing I'm trying to learn to do is grow. And part of that growth is owning up to who I actually am. Now, that doesn't mean rejecting who I am. That doesn't mean attacking who I am. And it doesn't mean being ashamed of who I am, because I'm not. The person I am has been developed through years and years of trying to survive, years and years of adapting to my surroundings and situations, years of damage and mental health issues, and years of identity crisis, really. And I think if you're honest, everybody out there, we are a culmination of every single day of our history and every single person we've ever met, be that for a brief moment or for years. We are the culmination of our past. And I am learning that who I am is who got me to where I am today. Will that person get me to where I need to be tomorrow is a different question. And for me, that answer is no. I have spent the last year or so trying to move forward, holding on to the person who I was in the past. That's never going to work. Not for me. I don't know if it will for you. We're all different people, but for me, it's not going to work. If I need to be the person I want to be tomorrow, then I have to accept who I was in the past, did their best, got me to where I am today, and to be a different person tomorrow, I got to change. And I don't know what that change is going to look like. I don't know what that change is going to mean. I don't even know how to make that change happen. I'm thinking, let's just let it go organically. That's how I got to who I was today. Just let the change be what it needs to be and who it needs to be. I am, though, 100% accepting of who I was in the past. Did I make mistakes? Yes. Am I ashamed of those mistakes? No. Could I have done things differently? Yes. But should I have done them differently? No, because they all taught me a lesson and they taught me who I am today. It is just figuring out now who I want to be tomorrow and how the hell I make those changes stick. Because who I want to be tomorrow is a kind, loving, friendly person. And I want to be very, very rich. Very, very rich. I want to be, I don't know, kind of the same as who I am now, just better at it, really. I want to be a better cleaner, a better YouTuber, a better employee, a better mum, better wife, better person all round. I just don't quite know how to manage that yet. All I know is I'll keep working at the personal development stuff. I'll keep listening to the self-help books. Now, if you're interested in what self-help books I'm doing and what particular self-help exercises I am doing, let me know. I'll fill you in. I tend to talk about them on most of the videos anyway if I've done anything specific, like the broken window theory. I found that and it's kind of enlightened me and I kind of am working on it. I did see a video about all these laws like Murphy's Law and there's some other ones. There's like 11 laws. And I can't remember the name of this law, but it's never put down to malice. What could be put down to, I think, ignorance and stupidity, I think it was. Which basically means never look at someone doing something just to be cruel. Put it down to the fact that they're too occupied with their own personal lives, what's going on for them, or they're distracted, or they're just rude, or they don't, they're not doing it to hurt you. They're doing it just because they don't care, or not that they don't care about you, but that, they care about them, what's going on. They're not thinking, oh, if I do this, I'm going to upset or cause anger or wind up or whatever. They're doing it simply because of where they are in their lives. So that was one of the laws. There was many, many of them. And actually it got me thinking. One of the things I see a lot is these videos about how we influence the people around us. Again, with the broken window theory. We tend to control more of our realities than we give ourselves credit for. And it's true. If you go to work, okay, and you're thinking to yourself like, nah, I am having the best day. I am in such a good mood. One of them days where you just wake up and the air smells a little bit sweeter, you've slept a little bit deeper, and the world just seems so fresh and magical and full of energy and wonder and excitement. You know those days? Yeah, they don't happen very often, do they? But you've had one, right? Now, you go to work, okay, and the boss is being a complete, and it doesn't get you down. The boss is miserable and cross, and it gives you all the bad jobs, the jobs that nobody else wants to do, and you're like, ha, fab, look, I get to make this, whatever it is, absolutely perfectly, wonderfully beautiful, whatever. I get to be the fastest packer on the line that nobody wants to work. You know, nothing can get you down because you're happy. Your favourite songs are playing on the radio. Nothing can get you down because you affect the world around you more than I think you know. But I always doubted that before, because I always thought if I affected the world around me more than I thought, then surely me thinking, okay, I'm going to have a good day today, I'm going to make sure this happens and that happens and blah, blah, blah. And it never did. I always thought, like, I'd go on a walk and I thought, no one's going to bother me. I'm not going to come across any cars, so I won't have to worry about Woody getting out of the road and all these sorts of things. And actually, then literally all I would come across is cars or people being cruel and mean to me or awfully dogs that wouldn't behave themselves and things like that. And that's because it's not a thought process. You can't intellectually think your way around this. You have to believe it in your soul. You have to know it. You have to feel it. You can't just go to work one day and say, I'm going to have a good day, and think you're going to have a good day. Yes, it might work, but for me, I find that's more coincidence than it is a real thing. If you go to work and you genuinely feel happy, nothing's going to get you down. You're going to have a great day. If you go to work miserable, mardy and horrible, you're going to have a really bad day, and it doesn't matter what happens. I put it to you like one of the bank holidays that we've just had, where we broke record heat in the UK. I was on my sugar-free diet then, okay? And I was not having a good day. I was hot, I was miserable, I was annoyed, and nothing, I mean nothing, was making me happy. Jaden had brought in these neck fans for us, and bless him, he didn't have to, he brought one in for me as well. And he gave me the best one. He gave me the neck fan, and he had the handheld one, which was a good fan. But if you've got to hold it, you know, it makes life harder for you. But he gave me the better of the two. He gave me the neck fan, so I didn't have to hold it. And I loved the neck fan, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful to him. But nothing was making the day go right. Nothing felt good. And then we were given a couple of ice creams and a cold can of pop. And I was fuming. I'm on a flipping sugar-free diet and people are going around giving me ice creams. How, you know, what? That's just, no, that's not fair. But had I have not been in a bad mood that day, I would have been like, wow, mate, he brought me a neck fan. That's brilliant. I get to do all this. I'm working, I'm going to lose weight, I'm earning money. Oh my God, it's so hot, someone's giving me a cold can of pop and an ice cream. Wow, I am the luckiest person today. But instead I didn't see it that way because I didn't feel it. I didn't actually experience it that way because the way we affect reality. Now, I know I said that you can't think this sort of thing into reality. You can't just think, oh, it's fun here, and suddenly it's going to be great fun. You can't. Or at least I found you can't. But what you can do is you can start to almost trick your brain and your body chemistry into believing you're having a good time, into feeling you're having a good time, and then it will become your reality. Because your brain affects what you think becomes what you feel, and what you feel becomes your reality. So you have to get the middleman of what you feel. You can't just what you think becomes your reality. It's what you feel becomes your reality. At least that's what I found. Through all these people I've been looking at, I've never actually put it into practice yet. I've got to admit, I'm too scared because what I think becomes what I feel becomes my reality. I think things are going to go wrong. I feel frightened. My reality becomes fearful with everything going wrong. I just still don't trust it enough to actually try and practice it a different way. But for me, that's what I believe the process to be. So if you want to start having a good time all the time, you want to start changing your life and thinking better and things going better, you have to think it enough so your body starts believing it. Your brain starts releasing the chemicals and the hormones that say, yeah, this is fun. I like doing this. You think it until you feel it. Once you feel it, it then goes on to become your reality. I mean, as a theory goes, it's not a bad one. What's the worst that can happen? You think it, you feel it, and your life is still pants. I mean, nothing changed. Nothing changed. You tried another theory, it didn't work. But what's the best that could happen? For a week, 2 weeks, you think, and then you start to feel. And after you start to feel, you start to notice things beginning to shift and change. Yeah, you win, right? You've got nothing to lose. So why not? The only thing I have to lose is my sanity when I try this and it doesn't work. See, the fear. I can't stop thinking the negative of it. It won't work. This isn't going to turn out good for me. There's that negative thought process which causes fear, which makes me hold back. And as a direct result, it doesn't work out for me because I already know it won't, right? Like consciously, I think it won't. I feel like it won't. I hold back. It doesn't. It's what my mum used to call a self-fulfilling prophecy. And as much as I hate to admit it, Mummykins was right. Self-fulfilling prophecies are a thing. And I don't like the fact that my mother was right. She always told me she was. I never believed her. But apparently now I may have to bow down to this one. So Mummykins, if you're out there, you're correct. I'm never going to get the chance to tell you to your face because I will never see you again that I'm aware of. But yeah, if you're out there, you're watching this, kudos to you. You were correct, at least about one thing. Can't tell you if you were right about everything else yet. Not quite got there with that yet, but hey, we'll find out. We still need yet to find out whether I'm going to end up sad and alone if I don't change my ways, possibly, because there's only so long Dell's going to put up with me for. But hey, we'll see. I'm going to change that one. We'll just do positive thinking. We'll think it and we'll feel it. And with that witter over, Alyssa's room is done. Look at that, beautiful. I can't wait to get in here and get this redecorated. Our room is also done. That is due a redecoration as well. Look at it. I don't like it. It needs upgrading, needs another little stamp on it. But we'll get to that another day. For now, it's time for lunch. All right, so my phone needs charging. I've done 3 rooms. I've done our room, I've done Alyssa's room, I've done the bathroom. Do you want to see how much laundry we've got from just 3 rooms? Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 currently going round, 17 on the line already, and Dellie's just putting out the 18th. That, my chums, is from 3 rooms. 3. Still got to do in here, I've still got to do in the dining room, and I've still got to do Craigie's room. But my phone is on its last legs of its battery. I'm hungry, it's 11:30, and I want breakfast, I want a couple of paracetamol, and I want to rest while my phone charges. So we're going to stop it there for a bit, and we'll get going again in a little while. Yay! So I didn't just do lunch, I didn't just charge my phone. Dell announced that we had to go food shopping. We do a month's food shopping at a time. Around the beginning of the month, we do a full month's food shop. And we'd been putting it off because obviously the builder men were in there. I weren't going to buy a month's worth of stuff and have nowhere to put it. So we've literally just been buying a little bit here and a little bit there. So we lost, I say we, the royal we, I lost about 2 hours, 3 hours in going to do this big month's food shop. Now, somehow I've got the impossible task of figuring out where the hell to put it all. But it did come at a really good time because we've got to put all this stuff on the table back in the cupboards and, I don't know, try and find space for it all. Like I said, we are missing now. If you watch the actual video of putting the kitchen together, I don't think I mentioned there, but I'm going to mention it now. We have lost a cupboard. We have lost a knife and fork drawer, So we've got even less space to put things in our kitchen than we had before, which is a little bit scary, a little bit irritating. So I've got to find space for a month's worth of groceries and the stuff we already have. How I'm going to do that, I don't know. I think it's just going to be like a massive game of Jenga in that cupboard. One of the things I do have to try and get Craig to do is use all the chocolate spread. So Craig has a thing, one of his foods that he likes a lot. It was one of his safe foods growing up. So Craig, as we know, ADHD, autistic. He would only ever eat chocolate spread sandwiches. I mean, you could occasionally get him to eat other meals as well, but at one point, all he would eat was chocolate spread sandwiches. And he still, to the day, very much favours chocolate spread sandwiches over pretty much anything. You offer him most things and he'll be like, I'll have a chocolate spread sandwich for lunch, you know? Most of the time he's snacking on them throughout the day. They've just become like a staple of Craig's life, morning, noon and night. But he doesn't finish the jar completely. He kind of leaves a lot of it around the inside of the jar. Now, yes, it's kind of sad and pathetic, but at the end of the day, with the cost of living the way it is, I am not wasting a single smearing of chocolate spread at all. At the rate we go through it, we get through approximately 8 jars a month. It's 2 jars a week. And some months we run out well in advance of the 4 weeks. So we can get, realistically, if we didn't limit it, we could probably get through about 10, 12 jars in a 4-week period. Maybe 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, 12 jars, about 3 jars a week. So no, I'm not wasting a single scraping of that stuff. And I need to show him and teach him how to get the chocolate spread out from all the nooks and crannies in the jar, because they're a weird shaped jar and you have to get in there and scrape around the inside. So I need to get him to start doing that, because there was 2 jars open of chocolate spread on the side. And there was enough when I scraped out both jars to half fill one of the jars. So that's quite a bit of waste. If I or he had just thrown those in the bin, that's a lot of waste going through there. I know it doesn't look a lot. When you open one jar and there's just scrapings in there, it doesn't look a lot. But if you mount that up over the course of the month and then over the course of a year, how much are you actually throwing away? And one of the things I want to start doing is become more mindful of the stuff we're throwing away. I'm a nightmare for it. I really am awful for it. So I'll go through phases where I like to have salads. I like to have my fruit in the mornings. I like to have yogurt and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden I'll go off that food and I'm like, yuck, I ain't ever eating that again. And there's mouldy veg in the bottom of the fridge, or the yogurt's going a bit furry, or like my kiwi fruits. I've got kiwi fruits in the fridge I haven't eaten yet. Now, they might still be palatable. I might still be able to eat them, but I don't want to eat them. And I need to stop this wastefulness. That's one of the things I've got to draw a line in the sand on, the wastefulness. If we have got stuff in to eat, we've got stuff in to drink, then I need to stop going to the shop and buy more. If I have brought more, then it all needs to be consumed. It can't go bad in the fridge. Now, I'm not talking about the sort of stuff, things go out of date before you get to them. Like, I don't know, you've brought a loaf of bread. It should have a 3-day shelf life. You're on day 2 and it's already gone mouldy. There's nothing you can do about that. It's supposed to have a 3-day shelf life. You're on day 2 of its shelf life and it's already past its best. It's gone mouldy. No, I'm not going to eat mouldy bread just because, it should last me 3 days. I'm not buying any more before 3. That's just crazy talk. No, I'm not going that extreme. But yeah, if I'm buying salads because I plan to have salad every day for a week for my lunch before I start work, then I'm going to have a salad every day for a week before I start work. Like, there's no excuse just to waste food. Now, I messed up slightly this month. I brought a load of salad stuff. I brought my kiwi fruits and some things like that so I can make salads before I went to work. And we got the phone call. I did the shopping on the Thursday for all my bits. Yay! I got the phone call, I think, on the Friday, or I did the shopping on the Wednesday and got the phone call Thursday. Either way, the very next day after I did the shopping, got a phone call. You're right, love, if we start your kitchen Monday. Yeah. I mean, we'd already missed the 2nd of July they were supposed to start. We'd already missed that start point. Apparently that was my fault. Anyway, Lisa said sin's mended where that's concerned. So we weren't going to miss it again. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. We'll work round it. But because I had nowhere to prep my salads, I had nowhere to prep my fruit in the mornings, all that stuff ended up going bad in the fridge because I couldn't make it. Where could I make this salad? I had no countertops. Everything we had was put in the shed because we had no room to store it in the house. So yeah, it all just went bad in the fridge. And again, it was one of those things, I couldn't help it, that I didn't do it deliberately. It was the scenario where it just happened. But I do want to stop wasting as much as we do. We get through far too much stuff. And cleaning products. I am a devil for running down my cleaning products to just one bottle of something. That's all I need. One bottle does everything. And it does. If you've got a multi-surface antibacterial cleaner, I find it does everything. And actually, one of the things I like to do is you can get these little bottles of concentrated Astonish multi-purpose surface cleaner. Fabulous. You pour a couple of capfuls into a normal spray bottle, top it up with water. You can spray everything with it. I use it as a soft furnishings deodorizer. I use it as a window cleaner. I use it as a polish duster thing for my surfaces, a bathroom cleaner and a kitchen cleaner. It does everything. But then I get this real big itch that I just want to deep clean everything. And for a deep clean of everything, you need different products. Or at least I believe you do. I know a lot of cleaners agree with me as well. Like, you need a degreaser for your kitchen. You need a lime scale remover for the kitchen and the bathroom. You need a good, decent floor cleaner. Like, you need different products to do a deep clean. So I will go and I will buy like thousands of different bottles of beautiful, different smelling cleaners because it makes me excited and it encourages me to clean. But obviously, I don't need 1,000 different bottles. If one bottle will do it all, why do I need different? But I'll run it down and then I'll buy more and then my cleaning cupboard's just overflowing with products again. It's currently overflowing with products at the minute and I need to whittle it back down again. Every so often I go on this mad spree where I like a little bit of bleach. I hate the smell of bleach, detest the smell of bleach, or I used to until I worked with a colleague of mine for too long who loved the smell of bleach. If everything wasn't bleached, then it wasn't clean. And I kind of got used to the smell of bleach then. But I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like it. But I got a bottle of it sitting in the cupboard because once I went on this little rampage, I needed bleach, had to have bleach. I brought the bleach, used it once, and now I was like, ugh, I forgot how much I don't like this. And it's sat in the cupboard ever since. Like, why? Why do I do it to myself? Who knows? Who actually knows? But, yeah, waste needs to be kept to a minimum. I need to stop buying as well wax melts, scented candles and things like that. I've got thousands of them. Don't use them during the summer because most of the time there is a window or a door open somewhere and it's letting the beautiful scent out. What is the point? Use them more during the winter, which obviously is fantastic. However, if you leave them on for too long, you end up with headaches, sore throats and stuffy noses. We've got to be careful with the spiders, so I can't use them in certain rooms. And yeah, I don't like using the candle ones in a room I'm not in, so we have to have the electronic ones. Well, all I've got is the candle ones. So, I need to stop buying wax melts and things like that because at the end of the day, if I stay on top of keeping the home clean, tidy and organised and bathing the dog and grooming the dog and stuff like that, the house isn't ever really going to smell that awful. And I'll only really sort of need maybe 1 or 2 wax melts here and there just to add a yummy little smell and also maybe like around themes. I like Halloween and Christmas to have it like a proper yummy smell to them. So yeah, maybe I only do for like Halloween season and Christmas season. I only have wax melts for that because I've got a whole flipping box full of wax melts and I never ever use them. But again, because of this, I don't want to waste them. They just sit there. They just sit in their cupboard going, when are we going to be used? Never, my loves, never. You're going to stay in there forever until one day someone comes along and throws away my belongings because I am no longer part of the planetary system and my belongings are no longer needed and they will be trashed. So I kind of have to use them, but I won't be buying any more. That's actually, I think, as soon as we roll round to sort of the cold months, the brr months, I will start with the wax melts again. I'm really looking forward to the brr months. I call them the brr months because they get a bit chilly. I know they're the burr months, but I call them the brr months because they chill down a bit. Anyone else really looking forward to them? I most certainly am. We came back from Skegness the other day and it was about 11:30 when we got back. And the living room was lovely and dark. And for the first time in ages, I put my lamps on. And it was dark and the lamps were on and it was pretty and it was cosy and I loved it. I don't get cosy evenings in the living room during the summer because it's light from like 4 o'clock till 10 o'clock. Now, I know that's great and you get to do outside stuff and it's warm and it's fun. And yeah, I don't mind the warm and I don't mind the sunshine. It's beautiful and yeah, I'm all for it. But I like the nice evenings. I like the dark evenings where you can have the lights on and everything's a bit cosier and the curtains are drawn and you can have hot chocolate again without feeling like a traitor to the summer months. See, I like a hot chocolate, but when it's 30, nearly 40 degrees and you come home and everyone else is supping on cold drinks and ice cubes and iced coffees and you're like, can I have a hot chocolate with square cream and marshmallows, please? And they'll look at you like you've grown two heads. What? I'm allowed a hot chocolate if I want a hot chocolate, but no one complains at you during the brr months that you're having a hot chocolate in a big ceramic mug, lots of steam, and it smells gorgeous, and you got that squirty cream on there, a few little marshmallows, maybe a flake just dipped in there like a nice little 99. No one ever complains at you then, do they? Oh, no, that's normal then. But 40-degree heat, it's weird to want a hot chocolate. Well, I'm sorry, but I was born for the brr months. I was literally born in a brr month. I think, actually, I was born mid-brr. I was born in November. So I was literally born for those months. I like it. I don't like driving home in the dark. I don't like driving to work in the dark. That's not fun. I don't like having to walk the dog in torrential rain that's blowing sideways and is actually more like icicles than it is rain. That's not fun for me. I'm not a big fan of that. I do like seeing all the little baby animals in the springtime. That's quite cute. And I love all the flowers of the summer. Each month has its own perfect little thing. But I must admit, in the brr months, there is no going outside and praying for sweet relief from the relenting sun. You don't spend hours at work with sweat dripping into your eyeballs, making them burn. You don't end up with sunburnt skin so sore that you can't, you don't have anything touch it. You don't get any of that. You don't get to wear your flip-flops either, which is really sad. But I'd wear my flip-flops in the winter. In fact, I do. I quite often wear my flip-flops in the winter. I get some crazy looks because people think you are mad. But then I am mad. I drink hot chocolate in 40-degree heat and I wear my flip-flops in winter. So yeah, it helps to be a little bit crazy. I want to be normal. There's too many normal folk around. And yes, I was using the air quotes for normal folk around because none of us are normal, are we? We're all a little bit warped. But yeah, I want to be normal. I'm happy to be crazy. More laundry. Sorry, subject change. Keep up, people. So this is more laundry. I found this dining room doubled as our kitchen. And we have very limited space on where we could keep laundry. As you saw earlier, all that laundry had come from upstairs. We were trying to keep it out of the dining room, but eventually at some point you kind of have to spread the laundry to a different room. Don't forget, we had over 10 days without being able to launder any clothes. And I will just mention it again, just once, just a little hint, that it was going to cost a fortune, not only in time, but in money, to get our clothes laundered at the laundrette. There was a lot to get through, so that's why we didn't do it. And we had enough clothes to see us through, so none of us were dirty, stinky, horrible people. We had enough clothes to see us through. We just couldn't deal with it on the daily like we normally do and keep it down. It just had to wait until the kitchen was finished. Now I'm going to walk around with my backpack on my back for about 10-15 minutes here. I don't know why I didn't go and put it down. Who wants to be normal, eh? I don't know. Because the coat hook is now on the bathroom door, what it was before. So I don't know why I was doing that, but I was doing that. I have edited the footage. There was a lot of me just wandering around and talking to Craig at that point. So that's why the backpack has disappeared and you're not going to see me wandering around for 10-15 minutes. You listen to me witter. You don't need to see me aimlessly wander as well, because I do a lot of that in these videos too, which is probably why it takes me so long to get anything done. I just dither. Even though there was a lot to get done today. A lot of different. Like, all I've done there is dust off a chair and wander backwards and forwards to the living room. Like, do something practical. Stop dithering and actually clean. Yeah, I need to come up with a system for myself. Although I don't think a system would have helped in this situation, because this situation was out of the system kind of situation. It was a little bit different from the norm. I did keep trying to buy gardening gloves as well so I could do out in the garden, but never got round to that either. One day, I'll have a plan in my head and it will all follow suit and it'll all make sense. All right, time to move on to the busiest room in the house now, the living room. Has anyone else been given these stupid little food caddy bins? Like, I'm sorry, but my kitchen barely fits the 3 bins in it I need already. You want me to find room for a 4th? Like, at this point, genuinely, our kitchen is just going to become a bin room. We've got a bin for normal household waste. We've got a bin for recycling, like plastic, glass and things like that. Then we've got a separate one for paper and card. Now, before long... Oh, now we've got the food one as well. Before long, it's going to be general waste that can't be recycled, food waste, a separate bin for plastic, a separate bin for glass, and then a separate bin for cardboard. So that will be 5 bins in total in the kitchen if they do decide to separate the paper, the plastic and the glass bin. Like, I'm sorry, no. And I've been to other people's houses. They don't all have like 8 bins in their kitchen. What do you all do? Where are your bins? That was a tad American of me. Where are your bins? Like, where do you keep them though? Because I've been to people's homes and they, like I say, they don't have them. They have one kind of little food waste bin that's generally a carrier bag and that's about it. Where are you putting your recycling? Someone I spoke to said, oh, we just carry it straight outside and put it straight in the outside bin. What? Like, hey? No, I know for a fact none of my lot are going to do that. I'm not going to do that, so I don't see why I should expect my family to do that too. Like, I know I and other members of my family will unwrap something. Like, you'll go to put something in the oven and it comes in like a little cardboard carton, doesn't it? And you take the food out from the inside cardboard carton, you put it in the oven and cook your food. Like, leaving that cardboard carton on the side. Like, why? Turn the bin's like literally like 10 centimetres behind you. Like, genuinely, if you put your foot back too far, you will fall over the bin. Turn around and put the cardboard carton away. But no. So, if we're too lazy to do that, do you honestly think we're going for a stroll round the side of the house to go and put a cardboard carton in a bin? I think you'll find no is probably the answer to that. However, maybe with a bit more room in the kitchen now on the sides, what we could do is have dinner, leave like the cardboard cartons, the food wrappers, whatever else on the sides, no problem. But then when we clean down after dinner, we can gather up all the items together, take them out to the bin all at once, and then do the washing up all at once, and just do away with bins in the kitchen altogether. I mean, to be fair with you, the dog is our food waste. he will eat anything that is not consumed by us. So the dog is our food waste bin. And everything else really can mostly be recycled. There's only going to be a few bits that can't be. And then that can just go straight out of the end. I might see about doing that, actually. Given I'm the one that does the washing up after dinner, that's what I do. That's my role. I've taken that on. Maybe I should do that. We'll not have bins in the kitchen. Do away with them. And then at the end of the day, or first thing in the morning, depending on how tired I am, we'll take it straight out to the bins. And, I wonder. And actually, it might stop people going through so much waste as well, because you don't want to keep going out to the bin. I like that idea. I might trial that. For a while and see how it goes. If it doesn't work, I'll keep the bins. Just for now, I'll put maybe in the outside toilet or in the shed or something. I'll clean and keep the bins. And then, if it doesn't work, I can bring them back, not a problem. Ooh, here's another spooky thing. If you watch that mop bucket carefully, in a little while, I'm not sure, I think I edited, so I play the clip again. So if you don't catch it first time, you might catch it the second time. I'm losing my mind here. This is getting close to the end of the day and I'm like, ah. But you watch the mop bucket, it tips itself over there. Do I play it again? No, I didn't. If you want to watch it again, you'll have to go back. Like, I move stuff and it does tip over. Like, as I move stuff, it tips over. Fine. I knew why it did that. Like, I made it do that. But why did it tip itself further over? Maybe it was just off of balance. I don't know. But at the same time it happens, the paper on the arm of the chair moves. Spooky or just, the mop bucket fell over kind of thing. I don't know. You be the judge of that. But it kind of gives me spooky feeling vibes. I'm not entirely sure. This chair, this is my chair, has become a dumping ground for everything. But this is me. Look, can you see all this junk by the side of my chair here? Like, I always complain that everyone else in this house is messy and lazy. And then I look at my own surroundings and I think, well, duh, of course they're going to be. The kids have grown up with me predominantly being at home with them. Obviously, there's been times where Dell has been their primary carer and I've been at work and vice versa. But I have grown up, or I have raised the kids, mostly I have been their primary carer. So they're mimicking me. And yeah, that's not good. Look at me. I am not really a role model to be followed. Like, no. I seriously need to changeth my ways. Like I said before, though, I don't quite know how to make that happen. I want to. I do want to. I don't know if I want it enough to actually make it happen, which is sad because I should. Because obviously my children are following my example and I should want to be a better person so they can be better people. But a little part of my brain goes, yeah, but they're their own people anyway and they'll be what they want to be and I can't be bothered. Because I don't care enough about me to change my ways, you know? And I need to learn to care about myself more and learn how to put me first so that I can rest. Because one of the reasons I'm like this, and it's not an excuse, it is a reason, and if I worked harder I could change it, but one of the reasons I don't is because I am exhausted, physically and mentally exhausted. I have no energy. I don't come home and want to help cook healthy meals. I don't want to prep myself healthy lunches when Dell's at work or make myself healthy breakfasts. I don't want to exercise. I want to sit in a chair, forget the world exists and stuff my face full of sugar, carbs and probably alcohol, to be fair with you. I am tired. Now, I am getting help for that because I am a great believer that you can't do anything physically unless you can first do it mentally. Other people think the other way round. It's very hard to have a great mental health mindset when your physical life is falling apart. For me, honestly, I find the mental piece is the first piece. You have to mentally prepare yourself. You have to get brain strong before you can get physically strong. And I am working with the doctors, I'm working with the mental health nurse to try and get myself brain strong so that I can change how I behave. I can change my thoughts and my patterns and get myself sorted and ready and rocking and rolling. But for now, who I am is exhausted. I am sad, exhausted, and lazy. And I can't help that. I really can't help that. Could I do more? No. I genuinely at this moment in time couldn't. I could do more, yes. But only with help and support. I need to change and turn a new leaf and all the other little adages before I can be that person I want to be. That's going to be very, very hard. One of the things Kerry said to me lately really struck a chord, actually. It really hit home. I need to start saying no more. No needs to be a complete sentence. No needs to be acceptable, both for me and the person hearing it. I need to lay some boundaries down and I need to be comfortable with other people being uncomfortable. One of the reasons I don't do a lot of stuff that I'm supposed to do, apart from me being bone idle, is that I don't like people being upset with me. I don't like people being uncomfortable around me. I don't like people being sad. That means I will sacrifice everything to, well, I say everything, maybe not be so fast and loose with the word everything, but I will sacrifice most things to keep everyone else happy. And I need to stop doing that. I need to learn to say no. No. And if that makes you uncomfortable, well, that's okay. Because what a privileged life you expect to lead if you are genuinely expecting to get through your entire life without ever feeling uncomfortable or without anyone ever upsetting you. That's not a real life to lead. Someone's going to upset you, you are going to be uncomfortable, and you are going to be okay. And I need to learn that, because I also need to learn that I am okay with being uncomfortable. And telling people no does make me uncomfortable, which may well surprise a few people out there, because I very, very rarely say no to anybody. I try and avoid it as much as possible. And even avoiding the word no makes me uncomfortable, but it is what it is. All right, I'm exhausted. It's now what? Call it 5 o'clock, 6, 4, 5, 5. Yeah, 5 o'clock. It's dinner time now, though. Not got far left to go. Still got Craig's room to do. Got hoovering to do in the dining room. Got clothes to take upstairs. Got another laundry basket full of laundry to go through and finishing off bits to do in here. And then the rest of the kitchen to do. So Craig's room, finishing off the dining room, finishing off the living room, finished off the kitchen, and a mountain of laundry. It's going to take me about a week to get through. But it's dinner time now. So let's go eat something. Then we'll get back cleaning again. One of the things I do with the laundry to make life so much easier for everyone involved is I put it into piles like I just did there. Now, I know my washing machine can take about 7 kilos, so I tend to feel each pile out to make sure it's about 7 kilos or at least under, so it doesn't break the washing machine. It's because Kerry's, she just sent me a message. I watched your kitchen video, glad it's all done, and I read that as I was talking, so thank you, Kerry. Yeah, I'm glad she likes the video. What was I saying? Anyway, yes, I check the weight of each pile to make sure it's not going to break the machine. I then leave instructions on each pile with everything that needs to go into the washing machine. And it makes life easier because then all people have to do is pick up pile, read instructions, put stuff in machine, Follow instructions. Ta-da! And it means I don't have to be there to babysit each wash load as it goes through the machine. I can just carry on my life. And other people can start putting things through the washing machine for me, which saves me so much time because I don't have to keep running down every hour and 20 minutes to change wash loads over. It's especially handy. We're off down to my sister's the day after I film. So this is Saturday as I'm filming now. We're going down to my sister's on the Sunday, and Craig is going to stay behind. He's 18 now, so he gets to do that, bless him. But I will put him to work putting laundry loads through the machine. And wow, when we came home from my sister's, he'd got loads through. He'd been putting it out on the line, bringing it back in. He'd left it sort of all piled up, but I told him, don't worry about that, just put it through the system. I'll do the rest. And I don't know how many piles he'd got through. About 6, maybe 8. I can't remember how many. But he'd done a massive chunk of the laundry. Now, if he'd have come with us to my sister's, or he hadn't bothered doing that, then it'd have been an extra day before I'd have got through the laundry. So having those little piles there just means that literally anybody could walk past that pile. The washing machine's not running. I'll throw a load in the machine. And they don't need to know how to work it. It's literally idiot-proof laundry. Anybody could come to my house. The washing machine's not running a load. Change it over, pop a new load in, and off we go to the races. Now I have sped up the kitchen because, wow, I was getting so tired by this point. I was moving so slowly. Dell did come out to help. He did the washing up. I wiped up, put away. We did clean out the cupboards because they were all full of grit and muck from the repairman that had only finished yesterday. So we did give the cupboards a very good clean before we put everything away. And look, in comes, I think this is the tumble dryer. It could be the fridge. I think this is the tumble dryer. I wasn't really much help shifting this one because the bottom of it's quite sharp and you can't really lift it very well. So, oh no, it's the fridge. Dell did this one on his own. I helped with the tumble dryer then. Yeah, he did that one pretty much all in his own with me, just standing there for moral support. The fridge is, for now, going to go where the cooker is going because we have no room for it. It could go on the side, but the sides are thinner and we don't trust the sides are going to hold it up. But also, we want kitchen sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in our own little breakfast bar that's going to go on the radiator side of the wall, and the fridge is going to go under that. Yes, it's going to make the kitchen impossibly narrow at that far end, but it's already stupidly narrow anyway. The two of us can't really fit up that into the kitchen side by side. So, making it a little bit narrower, it really don't matter. So we're going to move the fridge round to the side where between us and the neighbours, opposite the kitchen sink there. We've got the tumble dryer next to me and the washing machine next to me. So that's literally all the space we've got in this kitchen. I can't wait to start sending our housing association emails saying, we need to extend. Other houses in our area have extended and they're all housing association too. Why can't we, extend it? You've already said this kitchen isn't suitable for the 3-bedroom house that it is. Extend it. Need to move some laundry over. This is ridiculous. It's like Jenga in the kitchen. Need to move the laundry over so I can get the bins out from this little cubby hole under here because that is where the tumble dryer is going to live. Now, once we get the tumble dryer in, we can get laundry through like no one's business, get it out on the line and going through the dryer at the same time and really try and get on top of everything. Because look at it all. Like I said, I don't know how many exactly. I should have counted when I got all the laundry put together and done a total count for the day. I was actually keeping count. But by the end of the day, I'd forgotten what number I was on. Craig did a load as well, like I said. Alyssa did some at the start of this all. So realistically, I don't know. But genuinely, it was somewhere in the 20 plus region, loads of laundry. When you include the bedding, the towels, as well as all the clothes, it was a lot. It was a lot. But like I said, we've finished. Finally, I went downstairs earlier. It's currently Wednesdays. I do this voiceover for you guys. I went downstairs earlier and I put the very last load of laundry into the machine. We are now completely up to date. Well, that's actually a slight fib. I've got a few bits to fold and put away when I go down. I will do that after dinner before we go to bed. But that makes me up to date. As of Wednesday, I am up to date with the laundry. I am so So happy. It has been a massive backlog, but I do quite enjoy doing laundry. It's one of my favourite things to do. It's very therapeutic. It smells lovely and clean, and it is one of the easier tasks to do. Like, you pop it in the machine, and an hour and 20 minutes you get it out the machine, hang it on the line, get it back in, ta-da, you're done. The worst bit's ironing, but even that's fun because you get to put on whatever show you want to watch as long as everyone else is out. And you get to watch that show while you iron. And no one pesters you. Maybe it's because they're scared you're going to ask them to help. I don't know. But no one bugs me. I can just do my ironing and watch a show. And I can just relax and be all happy. But once this washing machine is in, me and Del, or the dryer's in, me and Del are exhausted. And we've got to be up early because we're off to see one of my favouriteest people in the whole wide world. And that is my little sister. She's about a 2.5 hour journey away. We're going to stop for breakfast on the way. So we're going to be up at 5, leave the house for 6 and hopefully get to her for about 8, 9 o'clock. So we are off to the land of nights. All right, 6:09. We're slightly late leaving the house, but hey, doesn't matter. We're on our way to see the sister. I am thankful Del decided to drive me because they are doing works on the Black Cat roundabout in Bedfordshire. And it is absolutely terrifying to me. This is on the approach to the Black Cat roundabout. I'm already feeling anxious and Del's driving. But let's see how I coped with the roundabout. Film the quad tray. Get the quad tray to do the Black Cat. We're in Bedford. See, I'd have diverted because I think I'm going north, but I'm not, am I? I'm going south.
That's for people that are coming out of their house and want to go that way but can't go
yeah.
that way.
Okay.
Yeah, down the 40 now.
Oh my god. I don't know, it's scary already and nothing's happened. Okay.
Well, that's scary. You're the passenger.
I know. Can you imagine how bad I'd be if I was the driver? Are you not scared?
No. Just follow signs like I did last time.
Okay. There's a McDonald's. Maybe we should get McDonald's before we do Black Cat.
No, get past Black Cat.
Okay. Oh, that's new. New little Londisi petrol stationy place. That's not new, is it?
No, it's been there ages.
Alright. I don't know what's going on. Oh wow, look at it. Like, loads of stuff going on. But we're still staying the same for the minute, aren't we?
A1 South, yes.
Okay. A1 South. A1 South. Yeah, left lane for A1 South. Oh my grief, that's a tight wheel bend. So you just follow signs. Then we slip off here.
That's an easy.
Yeah, dead easy. I'm crying and I'm not dropping it in.
End up in the middle of the field somewhere.
Oh my god, this doesn't look right. Is this right?
Yep,
Oh.
it's right. See.
I don't like it. Feels like we're doing something illegal. This doesn't look like an A road.
Oh no, we're the only car here.
we really are too. There's no one behind us. There's no one in
one
front.
to the front, no one behind. No, there you go. We're back on the old highway now.
Well, at least we are back on normal road.
Well, it's easy that.
Yeah, I'm glad you were doing it because I don't think I breathed in and out the
Another car behind us now, so.
Okay, good.
Now we're back on the original A1 now.
Excellent. Well done, Daddy Pig.
Easy.
No, not for me. I was truly terrified during Black Cat. I ended up in tears. We did stop at what I thought was Peterborough Services. It wasn't. It was Baldock. Del threw a little bit of crummy to a rat and ended up scaring some bloke who thought random bits of McDonald's were falling from the sky. It was hilarious to watch. I wish I filmed it. This guy was just so confused how part of a McDonald's had fallen from the sky in front of him. Del wasn't throwing it at him. He just happened to move through the area when he threw it over there. They also picked up some scrummy donuts from the services, from Greg's. Oh, they were lush. I deserved a treat, so I got myself two for the terror of doing the Black Cat roundabout. I know, I was just a passenger, but it was frightening, all right? This little bit, that's where my nana used to live when we were younger, up that hill there. While I was at my sister's, she said she thought I was rude to ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT if he thought I was rude. Apparently, yeah, ChatGPT thinks I'm rude, which makes me sad because I try not to be rude to ChatGPT, but apparently I am. And it's one of the things I want to work to change because, again, it's happening not because I want to be rude. Apparently, I just have a way with words that makes me come across as rude, and it gets me into trouble when it's not my intent at all. But they all had a flipping good laugh. In fact, my sister turned a very interesting shade of purple after ChatGPT blurted out this answer. You can pause to read it all if you want. It was funny. But we had a great laugh. It was lovely seeing her. And I wish she lived closer because I miss her and I want to see her more often. We drove back and, on with the cleaning. All right, my loves, it's day 2 of this massive whole house. Put it back together again. It's a little thing that's going on. It's about 7:30 in the morning on day 2, and I'm starting where I kind of left off. Craig, yesterday, he started to go through some of this laundry for me while we were out. I've got the rest of this to get through because obviously there is a lot. It's also almost certainly going to be more because obviously people have used clothing and that needs to go through the machine too, the system as well. I've still got Craig's room to do, I've got the hoovering to do, and I've just got the daily tidy up to just, get done and stay on top of things. We've got washing up needs doing and just general stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get day 2 underway. So while I do still have part of the full house re-clean, put back togetherness to do, one of the things I said I wanted to do was keep on top of things once I'd done the big full house clean reset. So I am going to do that. I am going to get on with it. This is Tuesday, my day off work. I was supposed to be at work for the Monday, but I really wasn't very well. So we didn't get anything done on the Monday. We've got to get it all done today. But I want to try and stay on top of everything as much as I can. So as daily as I can, I am going to get on with all those household tasks that just need to get done and sorted. One of the comments I have taken on board is emptying bins daily. Now, I couldn't see the point in this before because it seemed very wasteful to empty the bins daily when they don't really need it. But I can see the point. Bins tend to get a bit stinky and a bit smelly. You don't have to change the bin liner every day, only if they get dirt on them realistically, because I thought that's a lot of plastic waste to go to landfill. I don't really want to do that every day when they don't need it. But most of the stuff that goes in the bin is just empty wrappers of stuff. There's not really any particular dirt and muck that, goes into the bin. So I am going to try and tip them out daily, just empty them out and take the trash out to the bins every day. I'm kind of hoping as well by doing that in a smaller amount every day, it means the bin won't go overflowing every day because there's not massive bin bags. Like I can take up more space in the bin with smaller bags. Does that make sense? It's kind of smaller bags fit better in the bin than great big bags all the time. So I'm going to try and empty the bins every day. Don't hold me at my word. I'm trying to change here, people. I don't know how successful I'm going to be at doing it every day. You might need to moan at me a little bit and I might get a bit defensive. So we'll just see how we go. I will say, though, it does seem the more we redecorate, the nicer I want to keep the place, the more on top of the cleaning I want to be. The more I go out and about and get a life outside of work and housework, the more on top of things I want to be. It's almost like depression is caused by being in a lifestyle you don't want, or at least it is for me. The more I try and grab the lifestyle I want, the better off I seem to be, which is lovely. Now, will it last, I hear you ask? Probably not, but we can live forever hopeful. Hope springs eternal and all that jazz. What I am looking forward to more than anything right now is this heat wave coming to a final, well, not a final end. I like the sunshine, I do. But this humid, sticky, horrible heat needs to go away. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm very much looking forward to putting up Halloween decorations, Christmas decorations. I'm looking forward to all the birthdays that we have at the end of the year and the very beginning of the next year. Because between the brewer months and moving into like March, there are a lot of birthdays for us. So there's a lot of celebrating going on the minute we hit autumn, right through winter and into spring. So I'm looking forward to that very much. I am a big fan of the brewer months. I really am. You still get some lovely warm days and bright sunshine, but they're warm and there's a lovely breeze that just keeps you cool. And the decor, don't get me started on the decor, and the scents as well. I love an autumnal scent. This year has been teaching me so many things and it's not even over yet. There is still so much to learn, so many more videos to make, so many more fun times to have. At some point, we're going to get information on when our bathroom's going to be redone. And I must say that the guys that did the kitchen have gone a long way to fixing the damage that the guys who did the heating did to our trust in tradespeople. We've actually, since they finished the kitchen, had a guy come back out. And I honestly, my heart sunk and I was like, oh no, here we go. It's the same, isn't it? I knew I couldn't trust him. I knew it. And bless him, he was the sweetest bloke ever. He came out and he was like, I'm really sorry to disturb you. I'm so glad you're in. Because he hadn't booked an appointment. He just rocked up on the off chance we would be here. And there was a chain that needed fitting. So I thought it was only for gas cookers. They fit a chain that secures the cooker to the wall and it stops you accidentally pulling it too far out and causing damage and gas leaks and all sorts of bad things. And I was like, I thought that was just for gas cookers. It's like, no, all cookers have to have them fitted now. So I've just come out to fit it for you. Now, thankfully, we didn't have our cooker at the time, which may be why it wasn't fitted. Like we did say, we're going to be ordering a new one. So they knew full well that we didn't have a cooker to be put in. So yeah, this guy just turned up and he was so sweet and so apologetic that he came out and didn't have an appointment. He just turned up on the off chance to put this chain in. And he said if we hadn't been here, then someone would have contacted us to make an appointment. It would have been fine. And he was so nice about it. I was really taken aback. I honestly thought it was the start of a downward spiral of, oh, we need to come back out and fix this. Oh, we need to come back out because we've forgotten that. Because after the heating was fitted for a year, maybe even more, we had people keep coming out to finish jobs and to repair things and to do this and to fix that. I honestly thought it was going to be the start of a downward spiral, but touch wood, it seems not to be. So yeah, honestly, like I say, the guys that did the kitchen, they've gone a long way to fixing the distrust that I have with tradesmen. I won't say it's completely cured my distrust, because there's been a lot of reasons for me to distrust tradespeople. But, I think I'm learning that you have to judge each one on their own merits and not judge them on the merits of the people that came before them. I wouldn't like to be judged by the merits of the people that came before me cleaning or doing any of the jobs I do. I would like to be judged on my own merits because I am my own person. So I think it's only fair. But like I said, this year has been teaching me an awful lot. And it is teaching me that the way I view the world and the way I think of things is very unfair. It is very biased, and for a lot of the time, it's very, very negative. Now, again, it's because I have a very jaded past and I've learnt to see things that way. And I've always learnt that if you don't trust someone, they can't let you down. But that's not true. I've always believed that to be a fact, but it's not. And despite me knowing it's not a fact, I still err on that side of thinking. I always think if you don't trust someone, they can't let you down, but they do. Like, it still hurts. If I think, oh, they're never going to show up for my birthday, for example, there's still this tiny part inside you that hopes that a certain person will show up for your birthday, or you'll get a certain gift for Christmas, or whatever it is. There's still a tiny little part of you, even if it's subconscious, that hopes that things will work out better, even if the conscious part of you is saying over and over again, no, it won't, it won't, it won't. You're still disappointed when it doesn't. So you may as well think on the bright side, think on the positive. It goes back to what we were saying earlier. Yeah, if you think on the bright side and on the positive side, you may be let down by people. It's going to happen. Life does. But at least you've got that little bit of time thinking positively that it will work. And that stops you becoming a jaded person, a negative Nancy or negative Norris. Do you know what? Negative Nancy's, I've not met a Nancy that has been negative. But I've never met a Norris. So they could be negative. So I'm going to switch it up and we're going with negative Norris, not negative Nancy. I also want to learn to think before I say things. I want to learn how to have that little thing in my head, that little, is it an inner voice? Inner filter, that's what I want. An inner filter that will process what I say before I say it. Because at the moment, yeah, I have that filter, but I think it's broken. I think there's a fair few holes in it. And most of the rubbish and nonsense I want to spout just comes trailing on out before it's even been thought about. And I'd like to change that. Doesn't mean I'm going to change it, but it does mean I'd like to try and change that. And yeah, I don't know, there's so many changes I'd like to make. But I don't know if I ever will, because at the end of the day, I think changes only come about when you actually really need to change, when there is a desperate reason. People don't change unless they absolutely have to. And I don't know right now if I absolutely have to. My life kind of works, really. I mean, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it works. We're muddling along nicely. And yeah, things go wrong. We hit a few bumps in the road. We change for a couple of weeks and then we all switch back to the status quo and move on that way. But see, my daughter there, Alyssa, little Alyssa, she has been a massive inspiration. In this last year, she has gone through hell and back. And she's suffered greatly, and she's still not that jaded by it. She's still quite a positive person. And she has gone and left the job that we worked at together. She took a big leap of faith. She paid to go on a training course. She drove all the way on her own to Birmingham. I am sorry, I struggle driving to the local Asda. She drove herself to Birmingham for the day. No, she didn't go to the Dale. She went for the day. She did her course and then she drove herself all the way home from Birmingham the very same day. This kid has never been on a motorway. She's never slipped on or off a motorway like on the little slip road. She's never done any of that. She's never been to Birmingham. I don't think she's even driven further than like Lincoln Town Centre or City Centre. So that was a big deal. She's gone into a career, an actual career, that is so vastly different from everything she's done before. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, technically it's not. She's still in sales. So when she first started work, she was 16. She started working a food stand in one of the local holiday parks near us, selling hot dogs, ice creams, all that sort of stuff. Then she started working with me and she started working in the restaurant where I work. And then she started working on the cleaning side where I work. She is now going to be selling homes. Yep, she's going to work. It's kind of like an agency kind of thing. So this company sends people out to new home builds and they take people round, sell the houses at the new home development site. So it's not like an estate agent. It's a little bit different, but it's the same. So that's what she's going to be doing. She's going to be selling new build homes. And I am flabbergasted. Like, wow. At 21, she has turned her life round, flipped it upside down and gone, watch me get this done. And honestly, I admire that. I kind of wish I had the bravado to do the same thing. The difference being, I don't still live at home with my parents who can, support me if I don't have an income. If I don't have an income, then I can't pay for my car. I can't keep it on the road, which means I can't get an income. I can't get a job. I need my car to get about. We can't really afford electric and food because, yes, Dell works, but Dell can't afford all the bills on his own. I have to work as well. So I can't really take a leap of faith like she did. I'd love to. And I'm working on taking some leaps, but they have to be calculated risks rather than just giant leaps of into the abyss and see where we end up. So watch this space. We'll see how we get along and see what happens. But yeah, she is quite an inspiration when it comes to what she's doing with work and with her life at the minute. So let's all wish her well. I know she's done her first few shadow shifts and she should still, wow, that's a mouthful to say. She should start working like properly temping soon. So wish her well for that. Craig's room. You don't get to see Craig's room very often, do you? That's because he's in it 99% of the time. Now, I always give my kids a choice. I say my kids, again, they're adults, 18 and 21. I always give them the choice. Are they happy for me to film them? Are they happy for me to film their room and put it on the internet? Because it is their personal space and they are adults. They have a right to decide what they share of themselves online. So I gave them the choice. Now, Craig isn't particularly bothered if he ends up being filmed, but he's not like, oh yeah, film, I'm happy to be on camera all the time. If he happens to walk through while I'm cleaning downstairs, he's fine with that. But I don't like to film him while he's chilling in his room. He's normally playing Xbox and talking to his mates. And the last thing he wants is his mother floating around, cleaning his room and filming while he's just trying to, relax and chill with his mates on his Xbox. So I tend not to get into Craig's room to film it that much. I do still clean it quite often, not as often as I used to. I used to clean every single day in every room. Now they're older, I tend to just clean like as and when I can be bothered. It's their space. They want it clean. They know how to do it. They can. I just come in when I'm doing a big overhaul like today, or when they're like, Mum, would you mind doing it? Now, that being said, if they say, Mum, do you mind doing it? And I'm like, absolutely not. You are going to be cleaning your room yourself. They'll clean it, but they will ask me, would I mind doing it sometimes? Alyssa more so than Craig, but Craig still does ask. Craig tends not to have people, well, Craig doesn't have people over to the house. So for him, it doesn't really matter whether his room is untidy or not. No one's coming round to see it. Alyssa has people round, and sometimes she's just like, would you mind giving my room a quick clean up? Now, she does get me something for doing it. She will get me a little chocolates or something like that for doing her a favour. And sometimes I say, no, I'm busy. You want it clean, you clean it yourself. Sometimes I will do it for her because I want the chocolates and I'm nice like that. So we have this understanding, like I say. So you don't often see Craig's room. And actually, it's not really that impressive. I mean, he doesn't really do much in here. He spends his time sat on his wee little bed there, playing his Xbox. He's got his little spider on the shelf, little Pam. She's doing really well. He has proper looked after her. And yeah, she's a happy little jumping spider. His window, though, he doesn't like his window open. So you have to get in here quite often and just sort of clean the build-up of, I think it's mould. I'm not sure. This house is terrible for mould. I need to invest in a big dehumidifier to kind of suck the moisture out of the air and get that sorted. But yeah, just give his window a quick clean, change his bed linen, run the hoover around, and everything else really, he kind of takes care of himself. I do have to remind him to empty his bin sometimes. But again, you just a quick word and he'll do it. There's Pam. I don't know if you can see her. Probably not. I tried to get a good angle on her, but the minute I tried to show her to the camera, she was like, no, I'm going to hide in a corner. And the minute I put her down, she comes scurrying down the side of her tank and was like, oop, move here. Fine. Pam, you be camera shy. I don't use cleaning chemicals particularly in his room because obviously I don't want to make Pam ill. So I have used like that pomegranate fabulosa spray, and I've just given the cloth a little squirt of that just so it's damp enough to pick up like any dust and that sort of thing. Normally what I would do is spray the side and then dust, but in here, like I say, because of Pam, I spray the cloth and then dust with a damp cloth. So there's not so much chemical in the air for Pam to breathe in. And do you know, I didn't know. I mean, it's obvious when you think about it. Spiders breathe. Like, they actually have lungs, not like we do. They kind of have different lungs. If I understand it rightly, they're called book lungs, and they kind of look like, you know how the bottom underside of a mushroom looks with all those, like, I don't know, pages, leaves, whatever they are on the bottom, that little underside stuff. That's kind of what I understand a spider's lungs to look like. Just thought I'd fill you full of an interesting fact there. Of course, I don't actually know. I've never actually looked at the anatomy of a spider, but I do know they have their book lungs, and the book lungs are very sensitive to chemicals and moisture. So again, we have to be really vigilant on the moisture, which is even more reason to go ahead and get that dehumidifier. Where they live, it is a tropical climate, so they do have moisture and humidity, but it can't be as high as it is here. So there you go. Little bit of information on the jumping spider. Craig's room, again, I really need to get the carpet shampoo in Craig's room, but that's another day. Like I said, I just ran out of time. I got as much done as I could in the 3 days. But I now have to get back to work, so I'm running out of time. Honestly, I genuinely don't think one person could deep clean an entire house in like a couple of days. I think you need an entire week for the amount of stuff I need to get done or want to get done. But we're on the final push now of this 3-day deep clean of the house. Deli's going to be back home from work soon, which, you know, as soon as he gets home, I tend to just start flagging. Like, when I'm off work, the minute he gets home, I'm like, I just want to sit with Del and talk to Del and see how his day's been, get the dog walked, dinner, get ready. Del coming home from work is the cue for my day to end. Because normally, when I come home from work, that's the first time I see him, my day is starting to come to an end. So when he comes home, I'm like, oh, the day's coming to an end. I can relax now. I can't afford to relax yet. I've got to keep going. This carpet is covered. You will not believe how thick in dog hair. Now, this is a Shark pet Hoover or vacuum cleaner. It is a pet one and it does a pretty good job. However, the level of pet hair it's got to get through, because I haven't been vacuuming every day, is off the charts. And I also think I need a new one. It's getting, like they say, all these cylinder ones, they don't lose suction and things like, well, I think this one is, because it doesn't seem to be doing as good a job as it did when I first brought it. Now, I hoovered, as you can see, and I've got a rubber broom that you can use to sort of scrape the dog hair out of the floor. I used that after I hoovered and got still even more dog hair up. And then after that, I shampooed. I didn't shampoo this carpet. I was going to, but I ran out of time and I was exhausted. And do you know what? Sometimes good enough has to be good enough. 3 days cleaning. I wanted a day off before I had to go back to work. And I wasn't going to get it if I kept going. And you need to relax. Your days off are for you to relax and recover. And running around like a I don't know what is not conducive to resting and relaxation. So yes, I did abandon doing any more. I put the house back together enough. We're back ready to do normal household duties. So it counts. It does. It counts. So this is the rubber broom I've got, and I wish I could remember where I brought it from, because every other rubber broom I've had my hands on to use has broken within about 30 seconds of me using it. And this one, I don't know, I've had it years. It's proper old and it still is going strong. I suspect I got it from Wilkinson's, but I genuinely can't remember, and I really wish I could. I'm pretty sure it was Wilkinson's, because I remember getting a squeegee as well for the windows at the same time. But this thing is brilliant. It gets all the pet hair up. I even take it to work with me so I can get like the pet hair up from any of the carpets at work that I need to get pet hair up from. It is absolutely amazing. These things are worth their weight in gold. And I do have a little handheld one for when I used to do the stairs as well. But the stairs now have a different carpet on them that I can't use the handheld on. And that there, my lovelies, is the dining room all finished. Now, I did give the stairs a quick clean as well. And look at these babies. There is no more dust on these stair treads. I did film them all covered in dust before, so I could do a before and after comparison for you. But apparently, in my infinite wisdom and my hatred for technology, or my technology's hatred for me, I should say, the footage has been deleted. So you don't get to see the before, you only get to see the after. Now, we're back here with Mount Washmore. Do you remember all the laundry that was going through? This is all the stuff Craig got through while I was down my sister's, which is a fair amount. But as you can see in the kitchen, there's still loads more to go. I've realised when I was filming the laundry house, I haven't taken the bins out yet. So we are just going to jump on that quite quickly, because otherwise I'm going to forget. Dell will come home to cook tea and there'll be a whole mess in the kitchen because the bins will still be full and I won't have taken them out. They won't get done till after the dinner, and I'm just going to do it now. Get it out of the way, Raquel. Just do it now. Right, now I've got about an hour before Dell gets home, literally, and I want to get through all this before he gets back, so it's done. I'm going to put myself a program on and I'm going to get ironing. Now I've sorted it all into its relevant piles. I did manage to make it. I got done literally 5 minutes before Dell got home. And Craig came down to announce that he needed to go out to get his glasses as he needs a new prescription. I was going to get on top of this dog hair because look, you can see how thick it is in here. It was the same in the other room. But I had to quickly run out, like I say, and get Craig his new glasses because he's got long-sighted, short-sighted. Can't see things far away very well. So we went and get them. And I came home to a lovely surprise. I walked in through the door and I heard, ooh. There was Dell in the kitchen. He'd run the hoover around for me. Now, he's supposed to do that every day after he finishes work, but he never remembers unless I leave him a little note to remind him. So today I was really happy to find that he's running around everywhere with the hoover, getting all the dog hair up for me, which made the next phase of the clean so much easier. I got the carpet shampoo out. And I gave the carpets a good clean. Now, this was before the carpet shampoo. You can see how clean our living room is. We're back to normal almost. And it just needed a good shampoo, like I say, to get the builder dust out of the carpet and various footprints from people and like where the dog's been in and out. It just, you can see where the rug was, like what colour the carpet used to be and what colour it is now that obviously we've had builders toing and froing in and out, in and out. And to be fair, they didn't really come through the house. They were locked out. But just having them sort of moving about in there and creating dust and all that, it's come through under the door because the doors aren't airtight, funnily enough. Woody losing his mind there every time. Literally, you turn on any appliance and Woody loses his mind over it. I was doing it really painfully slow. So this is sped up. This footage is at twice the speed. So you can see how slow I was doing it. I didn't bother filming the entire of the living room carpet shampoo because obviously, well, that would have been painful to watch at this speed. But I forget who it was asking. It was either Carrie or it was Joe. One of you lovely ladies was asking me what I use to deep clean the carpets. And all that's in there is the Astonish carpet shampooer, or the Astonish carpet shampoo stuff. I pour it in, so my carpet shampoo is set up with a cold, clean water tank, well, a warm water tank, and a separate little area where you put the shampoo in like neat, and it automatically mixes it. And then I just move painfully slow over and over the same area about 5 or 6 times, really give it a deep clean. And then what I do is I just use the rinse cycle on it. It's got a rinse setting, so it just puts water down. And I take up all the soap and any leftover residue of dirt with the rinse cycle, and that's it. Now, sometimes I will use the Tesco stain remover, and I just spray that on to the area that's got the stain, give it a good scrub in, and then I go over it with the carpet shampoo as well. But if I can't get hold of the Vax, I literally use any carpet shampoo stuff that is made for machines. I kind of like the Rug Doctor one. I get the pet one. That's really good if you've got cat urine stains or cat urine smells, or dog urine smells for that matter. It's really good for pet dirt and debris. So give that one a try if you are looking for something for pets. Otherwise, yeah, I will put anything in there that will work with a machine. Now, as you saw a minute ago, like I said earlier in the video, the minute I mop, someone needs to use the floor space. Oh, it's the same when I shampoo the carpets too. Suddenly, the world and his wife needs to walk on the bit that I am shampooing, and I've already had Dell run through. And I think after I stopped filming, Dell and the dog went through another 2 or 3 times after this, which was hilarious. I'm like, it's literally the only bit in the house I need to clean, and you and the dog both need to be there. But, you know, you can't help people walking through. But this is why I like to clean when I've got the whole house to myself. And here's your water dump. Look at the state of it. It's not actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. And it only took me 1 tank of water to get the carpet relatively clean. Now, I hoovered, I used that rubber broom. You saw me do it in the living room. Look at the amount of hair I still pull out using the carpet shampooer. Look at it. So that's one pull, and then I'm going to go back in the plug and I'm going to get even more out. There's loads of it. I cannot believe it. And it just shows you, doesn't it, that I need to stay on top of the dog's grooming a lot more. I'm always going to get pet hair. We live with dogs. There's always going to be pet hair. But I need to stay on top of things a lot better. So hopefully in future... Oh, literally 5 minutes after I'd done it, the dog walked the muddy footprints in. So I'm going to go and clean that. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you for joining me for this cleaning marathon. I'll see you all again soon.